Right now, Australia is giving away more than $2 million in untaxed gas every single hour. That's happening while you're at the pump, trying to make the numbers work on a tank of fuel. Since July 2022, that hourly loss adds up to over $68 billion. $68 billion that should be building our schools and hospitals, not just vanishing. This is how we are becoming the richest, poorest country in the world. Rich in resources, but with households getting poorer every day. The question you should be asking is, how is this possible? The official excuses are an insult to our intelligence. In this video, I'm going to put the hard numbers on the table, and we will dismantle the lies that are costing you a fortune. So, how can a country giving away $68 billion of our wealth also have a prime minister suggest you ride a bike to work? It's simple. They are hoping you're looking at the bike, and not at the real problem. You've heard the official story. It's always some unforeseen global event, some crisis overseas. Or, my personal favorite, it's your fault. Remember the energy minister on TV? Well, looks, we're just seeing a lot of people wanting extra diesel. There is absolutely no need for panic. The message is clear. You, the consumer, are the problem. You're just panicking. Come on. Are we seriously going to believe that? External shocks don't create a crisis from nothing. They just expose the deep structural cracks that were already there. Cracks that were deliberately created year after year by our own internal policy failures. The reality is simple. It isn't about you, and it isn't about a war on the other side of the world. The real problem boils down to two catastrophic self-inflicted wounds. First, we have failed to properly tax our own natural gas before giving it away to the world. Second, we have failed to secure enough of that gas for ourselves, for our own energy independence. Everything, your power bill, the price of fuel, that constant feeling that you're going backwards, stems from those two failures. We're going to start with the first one, the great gas giveaway, because you need to see the breathtaking scale of this heist. I will show you the exact numbers behind that $68 billion and how it was systematically siphoned away while you were told to tighten your belt. Alright, let's get into the numbers on this heist. That's $68 billion. Where does that figure come from? It comes from a simple, real-world policy proposal from the Australia Institute, one that our own Treasury was asked to model. A simple 25% tax on our gas exports. If that had been in place since the crisis began in 2022, it would have raised $63 billion by early 2026. Think about that. $68 billion that could have completely offset the economic damage we've all been feeling. Now, compare that potential to the pathetic reality of our current system, the Petroleum Resource Rent Tax, or PRRT. In 2021-22, the entire oil and gas industry made $89 billion in income. The tax they paid under this system was just $926 million. That's a tax rate of about 1%. To put that into perspective, in a similar period, Australian nurses paid $5.4 billion in tax. How would you feel about that? Hang on. Just stop for a second. I know these are big numbers, billions, millions. It's easy for it all to feel like monopoly money. But what comes next goes beyond the numbers. It's about a choice. I'm about to show you the story of two countries, both sitting on a mountain of resources. One of them used it to build a $2 trillion future for its children. The other one built a $1 trillion debt. This is where the heist gets personal. That first country is Norway. They tax their oil and gas sector at an effective rate of 78%. With that money, they built a sovereign wealth fund now worth over $2.14 trillion. That is $376,000 for every single citizen. A future-proof fund for their kids and their grandkids. That was their path. Then there's our path. Over $1 trillion in national debt while you're being told to tighten your belt. To call this incompetence is to miss the point entirely. This isn't the story of a broken system. It's the story of a perfectly functioning pipeline designed to transfer wealth from Australian ground directly into the pockets of foreign shareholders. And this isn't under some conspiracy theory I'm cooking up. I'm citing official Senate Economics Committee reports here. The four major LNG producers, Exxon, Shell, Inpex, and Chevron, earned a combined income of $297 billion over 9 years. Their grand total in petroleum resource rent tax paid on that income, zero, nothing. That wealth, our wealth, was simply transferred overseas. After seeing how we lost nearly $70 billion that could have gone to our hospitals, our schools, and our families, what's the one word that describes how you feel right now? Let me know in the comments below, because as infuriating as all this is, the financial heist, as staggering as it is, it's not even the most damaging part of the story. The money is gone. But what they have done to the country itself is permanent, and that's where we're going next. That permanent damage is our physical ability to function as a country. Forget the bank accounts for a second. Let's talk about the fuel tank in your car. Here is the brutal, shocking fact. Australia is almost entirely dependent on imported fuel. We have only 2 oil refineries left in the entire country, Lytton and Geelong. Together, they meet just 20% of our needs. This means 80 to 90% of the diesel in our trucks, the jet fuel in our planes, and the petrol in our cars is imported from overseas. And this vulnerability isn't just some hypothetical risk in a war. It's a slow-motion poison killing our industries right now. Every time a factory closes because it can't afford the gas bill to stay open, that's this policy failure at work. Australia's manufacturing sector has collapsed from around 14% of our economy down to just 5%. A study from the Centre for Independent Studies calls this second-order deindustrialization, estimating that our artificially high gas prices are wiping out about $3.5 billion in economic growth every single year. That's the long-term cost. Fewer jobs and a weaker economy for our children. Now, you would think we'd have a backup plan, a national stockpile. The International Energy Agency, the IEA, has a binding obligation for all member countries, including us. You must hold 90 days of fuel reserves. It's like a national savings account for emergencies. The world standard says you need 3 months of savings in the bank. Australia has less than 1. As of today, we hold around 32 days worth of diesel. We are living paycheck to paycheck on the world's most critical resource, consistently failing to meet our international obligations and leaving ourselves completely defenseless. So, our industries are being hollowed out. We have no fuel security. We are, by any measure, a strategic liability. Faced with this gaping, self-inflicted wound, what was the government's grand plan? What was their big, strategic response to fix this national security crisis? You won't believe it. In fact, their solution is so absurd, so insulting to your intelligence, it almost feels like a punchline. And I'm going to show you exactly what it was. So, what was this genius solution? What was this grand strategic plan to fix a national security crisis? A temporary cut to the fuel excise tax. That's it. You don't need to take my word for it. Just look at what they did. On April 1st, 2026, they proved my entire point for me. Now, let's be very clear about what just happened. In a fire, a sane person uses water. When you are critically low on fuel, a sane government encourages conservation. Our government just threw gasoline on the fire by making fuel 3 cents a litre cheaper. They actively encourage you, me, and everyone else to burn through our nation's dangerously low reserves even faster. Come on. In any other country facing a supply crisis, they ration. They take hard decisions. Here, we did the exact opposite. It is policy malpractice, plain and simple. And the scale of this insanity is breathtaking. I want you to see the numbers. This short-term, vote-grabbing gimmick cost the national budget around $2.55 billion in lost revenue, a $2.5 billion Band-Aid slapped on a wound that is bleeding out $68 billion a year in gas revenue that we refuse to collect. How would you feel about that? But here is the part they hope you don't connect, that $2.55 billion doesn't just disappear. The government has to find it somewhere, which stokes inflation. And when the government refuses to do its job and make hard decisions, it forces the Reserve Bank to do the dirty work. And they have only one tool, raising interest rates. So, while you got a few bucks off at the petrol bowser for a couple of months, you are now paying hundreds, maybe thousands more every year on your mortgage. It's a shell game, and you are the one who pays. We've covered the great $68 billion heist. We've seen the 2 gaping wounds it left in our economy and our national security. And now, We've seen the insultingly stupid band-aid they used to pretend they were fixing it. So far, we've talked about abstract billions and national policies. But what does this all actually mean for your personal bank account? In the final part, we are going to connect all these dots. I'll show you the direct, undeniable line from these decisions in Canberra to the money leaving your wallet every single week. All right, let's connect those dots. Let's draw that direct, undeniable line from the decisions made in Canberra straight to your bank account. That $68 billion giveaway we've been talking about. Since July 2022, that works out to be $49.8 million every single day. That's $348 million every single week that could have been funding your hospitals, your kids' schools, or simply cutting your taxes. Instead, it just vanished. So how did we get here? The journey is as short as it is infuriating. We turned our immense natural resources into a missed opportunity. That missed opportunity created budget deficits. Those deficits turned into national debt. And that debt is now staring back at you as a cost of living crisis. Come on. This country should not be running on beer taxes and HEX repayments while we give away billions and billions of dollars in natural resources. It is completely absurd. And here is the stone cold truth. They get away with this because they are counting on you being too busy, too exhausted from paying the mortgage, too confused by the political noise to notice. They are betting on your silence. But now you know. You've seen the numbers. You understand the policies. You can't unsee it. That knowledge right there is power. So what do you do with that power? The most powerful action you can take right now is to spread this understanding. If you've learned something today, arm your friends and family with the same knowledge. Share this video. Help the people you care about understand what is really happening to their money and their country. This is just the beginning. Subscribe and join a community that is committed to checking the numbers and holding them accountable. You're one of us now. You know.